So guys, this is a super critical, important video that you must know about the secrets that happened here in China for Q1 earnings report for NIO. Okay, so we saw that Xpeng released their earnings report, great numbers, reaffirmed Q4 profitability, stock jumped. Could the same happen to NIO? Here's some important information that you must know. Now, first thing that I really got to tell you guys is that they really ramped up marketing, advertising to the max in Q1. So back in Q1, around Spring Festival, they had a very interesting and very effective, I would say effective, ad, right? Promoting battery swap, promoting the NIO brand, NIO cars, and they showed that in front of the Ne 2 movie in China. And Ne 2, we're just going to call it Naga 2, is one of the highest grossing box office movies here in China. It's super popular. A lot of young people go watch it. Even adults go watch it. It's like a blockbuster movie here in China. It's like China's Toy Story almost, basically. And in front of that, you have this short ad by NIO promoting battery swap, telling you all about it. And they had so many of these, okay? And according to NIO's president, over 200 cities, over 30 million people have seen the ad. Over, plus, okay, above 30 million. So probably even more than that have seen the ad. Now, of course, these ads don't come free, right? How much does it cost? Well, I did some research here in China. A 15-second theater ad costs 2,500 RMB for like one theater for one screening. So you show that once, that's 2,500, which is roughly about maybe 400 US dollars. 400 US dollars for one small ad, 15 seconds. And this is just like the estimate, all right? I'm sure in bigger cities, in Shanghai, Beijing, the cost is much higher. And also NIO's ad is a bit longer than 15 seconds. So it's probably much more than that, okay? So they're shelling out top bucks in Q1 to get NIO's ad in front of the theater, in front of that movie all over China. Great marketing, but very expensive, all right? And that is definitely gonna show up in the earnings report, and they're gonna spend a lot on marketing activities. You'll see that they'll probably say increased marketing activities in Q1. And on that topic, we're not done with that, all right? Q1 is also the time when Envoy Deliveries sort of kind of diverged from expectations, right? We're all expecting deliveries to go higher and higher, but then in Q1, it kind of went the other way. And we all know that it was because people gave up the orders because they wanted the year-end subsidy, so they bought something else, okay? And by this time, well, what did Envoy do? They also went ham in terms of marketing. And ham as in absolutely ham in terms of marketing, okay? We're talking about elevator ads. We're talking about just posters, advertisement posters. We're talking about like even the big, huge billboard ads at train stations, everywhere, okay? So that costs a lot of money, all right? You have these ads everywhere marketing the Envoy brand. So needless to say, all right, I'm rambling about this for a long time. In Q1, you're going to see NIO, they've spent a ton of money on advertising, all right? They've spent a ton of money, okay? How effective is it? I'd say like the movie ad was probably pretty effective. But the Envoy ads, I think they get the message across, but I've talked about it before. Maybe they don't convey the point directly and that kind of stuff. So, you know, it's money spent. Is it well spent? I can't say for sure, but that's money spent. You're going to see that take a hit on the earnings report, okay? Another very important key information is, of course, the fact that they're launching all these new models in 2025. They have to do retooling for the factories. They have to have different molds. For the 5566, the cars look different. So the presses, the giga press, so to speak, has to be different. It has to they have to change the molds out, right? So in that sense, that's going to cost them a lot of money. Those molds are very, very expensive, and they're doing it for multiple cars, right? You got all these cars coming out, 4 cars, ET5, ET5T, ES6, EC6. So the molds have to be changed around Q1 that time. And of course, you have to get the production ready for all the other cars, Envo L90, the Firefly car, right? And then later on in this year, ES8. So there's a lot of money going on being spent for the factory to basically, get the factory up to date. So that's also a lot of money spent, probably more capital investment, so to speak. And in terms of cost-cutting measures, they've talked about this when they did the Q4 earnings report. They talked about job cuts and stuff. And actually today, I actually saw some new rumors that they're doing another round of job cuts. I can't confirm nor deny it, but I'm sure it happens all the time. They got to get their costs under control. Some of the things they're doing, they're merging the different sales channels, Envo and NIO. They're merging them together to save on costs and firing the redundant people. But firing these people do cost money, and that could also take a hit. So in terms of like balance sheet improvements and cash flow improvements, you're probably not going to see it. Like even NIO themselves, they said you're not going to see that effect take place until Q2's earnings report. So that means there's still going to be some time. There's still going to be some like big losses that they have to take a hit with until things get much better. Okay, that's just what you have to keep your expectations in check, so to speak, right? And then of course, in terms of sales, year-over-year improvement in sales really fueled by the 240 free swap vouchers. But remember, with the 240 free swap vouchers, that is more of how should I put it? It actually doesn't subtract from the balance sheet, right? Because people are still paying full price. It's just that the long term, over the next 4 or 5 years, they're not going to see a lot of paid battery swaps. They're going to get it for free, right? They have 240 free swap vouchers. So in that sense, that won't take a hit on the balance sheet, but it's actually going to improve the balance sheet because they're selling more cars. Not so much straight up discounts. These vouchers, they're free for NIO as well for now. It's just pushing the cost on to the battery swap stations later on. So in terms of that, you can really see some good revenue numbers, year-over-year increase in terms of revenue. So that's nice. And then R&D, I think R&D is just going to be consistent with the previous quarters because they've been adamant about spending a great deal of money on R&D and not reducing that. And they take pride in that, right? NIO is one of the top R&D spenders because they make some of the best tech in the world. And that's very, very nice. Now, some curveballs that we might see. Could we see something to do with the McLaren deal? Because we know that McLaren and CYVN signed a deal. They're going to benefit from NIO's tech. Is NIO going to get money from it? Because NIO's open to licensing out their chips, their software, but we haven't seen that materialize into actual money yet. Okay, and this is a huge potential going forward, but we haven't really seen it yet. Hopefully, there might be a surprise, and whoa, we get shocked that, oh my God, NIO got $100 million from somebody else buying their chips. Damn, that's gonna be nice. But this is definitely something that you will see in the future, but maybe not in the Q1 earnings report. Okay, there's lots of potential. But in general, will we see NIO stock pop or drop? Hard to tell. But I'm just warning you guys. You guys know they spend a lot on advertising in Q1. That's all you need to know. All right? As always, stay safe, stay healthy. Peace out.